Go!
Oh, hi, my name's Eddie, and I'm a volunteer at the Vietnamese American Cancer Foundation. And today I'll be interviewing Becky, who's our executive director, and she'll be answering a few questions for you today. Okay, so the first question I have for you today, Becky, is how did VACF come up with its cause, and why did it choose that specific cause?
The Vietnamese American Cancer Foundation, VACF, or Hội Ung thư Việt Mỹ, was established in the Vietnamese community for culturally accessible healthcare service and education. VACF's founders recognized a lack of health information that was obstructing the healthcare delivery process for the Vietnamese Americans, particularly those who were economically disadvantaged and culturally unassimilated. The Vietnamese American community has expanded rapidly in the recent years due to the ongoing immigration. Therefore, many Vietnamese currently living in the U.S. suffer from barriers such as cultural stigmas, limited English proficiency, and low income levels that hinder their healthcare access. Due to the gap in the healthcare access for Vietnamese patients, there is a dire need for culturally tailored service and education. VACF decided to focus on women's health, breast and cervical cancer, and hepatitis because those areas are major contributors to the public health burden in the Vietnamese community. For instance, breast cancer is the most common cancer and the second leading cancer killer in the Vietnamese women. Cervical cancer affects Vietnamese women more than any other ethnicity. I believe 5 times more often than non-Hispanic whites. While hepatitis B and C is exceedingly common in the Vietnamese populations, having a prevalence rate of 10 to 20%. That's 1 to 10 or 1 in 5 of us have, hepatitis. Breast cancer, cervical cancer, and hepatitis can be prevented with proactive health behavior, but also require prolonged treatment in patients with the disease. VACF offers assistance to individual patients in the prevention and treatment process, thereby contributing to the to a healthier community and mitigating the public health impact of these chronic diseases.
Okay, great. So the second question I have for you relates to UNA-VSA. As you know, it's a service organization that's dedicated to fostering the Vietnamese youth. And I want to know, how does VACF help UNA-VSA's cause or the Vietnamese community? And if possible, will it involve members of UNA-VSA?
VACF's mission aligns very well with UNA-VSA's cause of fostering the youth community and promoting Vietnamese culture. By retaining young, talented Vietnamese interns and volunteers, VACF unites the youth toward the common goal of serving the Vietnamese community in a public health capacity. We promote values of cultural understanding, compassion, and critical thinking that will serve young students well in their careers. Also, VACF preserves Vietnamese culture by encouraging cultural appreciation and understanding between young and old Vietnamese through targeted health service. As a small grassroots organization, VACF benefits tremendously from the support of dedicated volunteers. We believe that the key factor in improving healthcare access for our population lies with the bright young Vietnamese professionals who possess a strong commitment to make a positive impact within the community. If UNA-VSA members would like a valuable public health experience, they can volunteer for VACF. Based on their interests and expertise, volunteers can partake in large selection of programs, such as preparing funding proposals, assisting staff in the office, or participating in the healthcare events. Placing UNA-VSA members in the volunteer capacity is a way for us to fulfill our mission, basically of serving the community in the present and the future. With our interns and volunteers, VACF aims to unite young Vietnamese Americans toward combating cancer through a myriad of ways.
Okay, so the third question I have for you is how will your organization measure the success of the project that's up for funding, that is the Women's Health Program?
The success of our women's project will be measured through the number of people we educated, screened, and referred to service, as well as surveys distributed before and after each of the educational workshop, feedback from patients, and also one-on-one interviews.
Okay, and also I want to know, what would the organization do once the program reaches its goal?
Our greatest hope is to have a world without cancer, or a world where cancer is readily prevented and treated for all individuals. However, until then, we in the community will take steps to learn more about cancer, early detection, prevention, support, and treatment. Our ultimate goal is to eradicate the healthcare discrepancies in the Vietnamese community in Southern California. Once the goal is reached, we will expand our target population to Vietnamese who reside elsewhere. Furthermore, our current services are limited to the women's health and hepatitis. If funding permits, VACF also will expand the scope of our service to other cancers, such as prostate cancer and lung cancer.
So Becky had told you guys a lot of information about VACF so far. So to sum it all up, Becky, if you had to promote VACF's cause in 30 seconds, what would you say?
VACF is a community-based service organization dedicated to improving the health of the Vietnamese community in Southern California. With our women's health program, we provide accessible cancer education and service to assist Vietnamese women, many of whom are economically disadvantaged and medically underserved, in their battle against breast cancer or cervical cancer. We have a unique and valuable role in the community, serving as a public health educator, service provider, and cultural advocate.